Hello everyone, my name is Soraya. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about that feeling, that thought that you may have experienced yourself of feeling like you just don't want to be on the twin flame journey anymore. It's too much, it's exhausting, don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather just focus on myself. I have had clients say this to me in sessions. I have seen people say this in the Twin Flames Universe Open Forum. And I have too had this experience where I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. This sucks. This is miserable. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And what I've discovered and what I have consistently seen every single time that someone feels this way is that they're not following Jeff and Shalia's teaching. And that includes myself when I was experiencing this. This happened for me when I first found their work, but I hadn't yet gotten Twin Flame Ascension School yet. And so I was kind of piecing together their teachings from YouTube videos like this one, especially YouTube videos from Jeff and Shalia, and just trying to like piece together what they were teaching about twin flames and just feeling like, oh, I don't really need Twin Flame Ascension School. And basically, I was trying to do what I thought was their teaching and do it my way. And it was really, really exhausting. I was really hard on myself. I put myself under a lot of pressure. I was trying to achieve and accomplish and just like putting a lot of drive behind it. But the way I was going about it was not loving to myself, which is really missing the entire point of everything that Jeff and Shalia teach. So it was like I was piecing together parts of their teaching, but I wasn't getting the heart of their teaching and what it actually was about. And that's what Twin Flame Ascension School helped me with, was to realize like, oh, okay, there's a lot more going on here. Like there's depth to this teaching. It's not just do this and that's it. This is truly a spiritual journey. This is a lifelong, eternal journey of being with God. And this is something to really look at like how I approach things, not just what I'm doing on the surface. And the way I see things, like that's more important than what I'm doing is like my heart condition, the way that I'm approaching it. And am I really getting the heart of the spiritual practice? Because this is a spiritual journey. If someone tells you this is just a relationship, be with your twin flame or be with someone else, like you're just making, like those are equal decisions, like it's not quite true, because twin flames are an ascension path. And if you treat it like it's just like any other kind of relationship, you're not going to get good results there, because that's just not what it is. That's never been what it is. And people who have met their twin flame, one of the first things that they say is, this is something transcendental. This is something that's incredibly spiritual and deep and meaningful. I've had a couple of clients in the last year or so reveal a false twin flame and then meet their true twin flame. Actually, I've had a few clients have that experience recently, and it's same across the board. They're like, I didn't know it was like I remember like hearing other people talk about their twin flame, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Like, and I thought that that's what I knew with my false twin flame, but they're like, no, nothing like what it actually is. Twin flames are spiritual. And that means that you have to treat it like an ascension path, like a spiritual practice, like meditation or like yoga, depending on what your religion is, what your spirituality is. The mirror exercise is a spiritual practice. This is an ascension path. And if you treat it like a boyfriend that you go out and grab, or a girlfriend that you go out and grab, or just like any other relationship, you're going to be incredibly frustrated, and it's going to feel exhausting. It's going to feel impossible, because it just doesn't work like that. What makes people feel tired on any journey are things like self-betrayal, control, attachment. These kind of things don't feel supportive. And so when you're doing them for a long period of time, it diminishes your energy, it depletes your energy. It's essentially an energy leak, and you're not gonna be able to sustain that forever. But people who truly like understand what Jeff and Shalia teach through something like Twin Flame Ascension School, their full teaching, they understand the heart of what Jeff and Shalia are teaching. They are true students of what Jeff and Shalia are teaching, and they're applying what Jeff and Shalia are teaching, the way that they teach how to do it. People who are doing that, they really don't feel depleted and down and exhausted, because they understand that control is the opposite of what attracts your twin flame, attachment, the opposite of what attracts your twin flame, self-betrayal, the opposite of what attracts your twin flame. going against what actually feels good to you, not doing what actually feels good in your soul to do. These things actually repel your twin flame. They don't attract your twin flame. And so when you're not doing those things, your whole life is about you being with yourself. And even when there's blocks and upsets and challenges, you're really just loving yourself, giving yourself a lot of big hugs with the mirror exercise, listening to yourself, getting clear on your desires with Love List, working with a coach to process your past and your feelings. Your lifestyle is about self-care. And so when someone says, I just can't be on the twin flame journey anymore, I want to focus on myself, it's very obvious that they're not quite understanding how to do the twin flame journey. Because if they were, they'd be feeling the opposite, because the twin flame journey is about self-love, focusing on yourself and being about yourself. Your twin flame is attracted to you when you are in alignment with yourself, when you're loving yourself. And so if you're feeling that way, where you're feeling depleted and exhausted and you're like, I just feel like I can't do this anymore, it might be time to start digging deeper into what Jeff and Shalia teach, so that you, like I did, you can come to that understanding of not just what to do and piecing it together and kind of going on the twin flame path you think based on what you can see, but really getting that deeper awareness of what they're really teaching. Jeff and Shalia are incredibly consistent throughout their entire teaching. I've never met people more consistent than Jeff and Shalia. Their teaching is so pure, and it's like it's got overlap with every other true religion out there, every other truly loving religion out there. And so it's so rich, just like any other true spiritual teaching is. And so when you are receiving a true and loving teaching, you get true and loving results. When you are following a teaching or a way of going about things consciously or unconsciously that has control in it, that feels, like I said, like self-betrayal or like there's attachment there, when you're doing that, you're going to feel depleted because you're leaking your energy away. So students of Jeff and Shalia's work who are applying it the way that Jeff and Shalia teach it, they feel good, increasingly so, and peaceful. And like I said, even when there's challenges, they're so supported to go through those challenges. They're meeting with their coach. They have Twin Flame Ascension School. They are working through those challenges. And by working through it, I don't mean struggling against it. I mean loving, embracing themselves. When you love yourself, you thrive. Think about like a flower that has been very well taken care of. It blooms, it thrives, it grows. A flower that isn't given enough water or isn't given enough sunlight, those flowers kind of wither and get really frail and eventually die. We're the same way as human beings. We are divine, we are alive, and we require love in order to grow and to thrive. So if you feel depleted on the twin flame journey, it's probably not the twin flame journey that you're feeling depleted about. It's likely that it's the way that you're going about it and not quite understanding how to attract your twin flame, which is what Jeff and Shalia teach. That's why we have the teaching, is to learn this, because nobody taught us this growing up. We need to learn how it works. And that's really what the teaching is about. And so, really when you reach that point and you're tired of that way of trying to control and feeling attached and just feeling depleted and just miserable, and you're like, I just want to love myself, you're actually more in alignment with what Jeff and Shalia teach and how to attract your twin flame than you were when you were doing all the things thinking that you were going to get the results. So, yeah, when people are like, I don't want to do this anymore, I just want to be with myself, I'm like, good, come to the right place, because that's like the starting point when you're ready for Jeff and Shalia's teaching, because that's when you know that nothing else works and you're ready to learn something that does. And you should never feel bad on the twin flame journey as Jeff and Shalia teach it, because it's just going to be about you loving yourself. If it ever does feel heavy or bad, it's okay. Bring it up with your twin flame certified ascension coach, and allow them to help you see what exactly is causing it to feel so difficult, so burdensome for you. It could be a number of things. Sometimes even trauma can get involved in it. And so it can be anything that is kind of like a belief system about struggle. It can also be just beliefs that you have about yourself, how you treat yourself, how you see relationships, things like that. And so those things will come up to be healed on this journey. but you don't want to stay in that energy because that's just not quite the way. And so you want to see what's causing you to feel so tired on the journey, so depleted, so that you can bring love to that place and come back into alignment with the true teaching, which is one of feeling very loved and very supported. And basically the twin flame journey, when you're doing it the way Jeff and Shalia teach it, you're not going to get tired of it, because it's just literally like my lifestyle as an Ascension coach is literally about self-care and self-love. Like that's my lifestyle. That's like the primary thing in my life. And whenever I catch an area where I'm betraying myself, or where I'm not listening to myself, or I'm not treating myself well, or I'm doing something that's unloving toward myself, it's like something to be addressed. It's not something that is like a lifestyle for me. It's about prioritizing, taking care of yourself. Jeff and Shalia teach it should be God, in terms of your priorities, God, you, your twin flame, and then everyone else and everything else. And so on this journey, you're very well taken care of, and increasingly so. And you become a better lover of yourself. And that all feels good. Control feels bad, attachment, ego, all the things. Usually we do these things unconsciously. We don't know any better. That's why I'm saying like education is so important. What Jeff and Shalia is teaching is because a lot of times we don't even know what we're doing that feels bad. And sometimes we'll be doing it for a while because we're used to it. And it's not until we like get completely depleted and like we hit our breaking point with it where we're like, ooh, maybe there's a better way. Because we get so used to running these patterns, we think it's normal. It's like we're used to controlling in our relationship. We think that that's how to have a relationship. And so we can go a long period of time suffering quite a bit, but having it go under the radar because we're just used to it. And so that's another reason why the support that we have in this community is so helpful, because it helps you see the things that you're not inclined to see yourself, so that you can stop going down a path that isn't going to get you results and is going to feel bad a bit sooner instead of running that pattern until you hit a brick wall and you're like, oh, like this isn't sustainable. I can't do this anymore. I've done that many times myself on my journey. And yeah, I speak from experience. There's a better way. You don't want to tolerate anything that feels bad. That thing that seems like it's such a small thing right now, if you allow it to continue, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we just have to realize, like, at the end of the day, we deserve better. Even if there's parts of us that is used to feeling bad and used to feeling how like it feels to control and self-betray and all of that. We don't need to stay in that space just because that's been there in the past. We can make a new choice and learn to give ourselves more than what we've given ourselves in the past. So no one really feels terrible on the twin flame path as Jeff and Shalia teach it. I've seen many people feel pretty terrible trying to do the twin flame path in a different way than the way that Jeff and Shalia teach it. But on this journey, we're all pretty much having a good time. And if you're not, there's help so that you can realign with the teaching in that space so that you can have a better time. But yeah, that's what that's actually about. When you feel like you're ready to give up and you're so exhausted with it, you're feeling ready for Jeff and Shalia's teaching. So that's what that's really about, you know. And I just want to point out, like, if you do feel like you want to give up, you know, understanding that you don't have to be in a place that feels bad. With that being said, like really like having that established, that you don't have to betray yourself and feel bad to be with your twin flame. I just want to point out, like, what do you want? It's an important time to get clear on your values and what you truly desire. You know, it's one of those things. I feel like when people want to give up, sometimes they feel heartbreak and they feel really triggered and really hurt with things that are going on in their twin flame union. And I want to point out that there's healing and that there is another side to that story, that you can see the other side, and you owe it to yourself to find out, because twin flame love is not something that anybody can really forget. And yeah, like, you deserve what you actually desire. You shouldn't feel like you have to sell yourself on a lesser dream because you feel like you can't get past something. You can, with love and with support, you can get past and through and overcome and experience the opposite of sooner than you think. So you're meant to experience love with your twin flame, what we call harmonious twin flame union, living as one with your twin flame, having a beautiful life of love with your twin flame. That is what you're meant to have. That's what you're created to have. That's what this teaching will help you achieve. That's what this teaching is about. That's why Jeff and Shleia created all of this, is because they knew that there's people who are struggling with their twin flame, probably like maybe you are, like I was. And that's why this teaching is here, is to help all of us so that we can have the kind of relationship with our twin flame that we want. So just because you've been through some challenges with your twin flame, or maybe you are right now going through some challenges with your twin flame, that's not the end of the story. You can overcome it, and you don't have to do it through control, and you don't have to do it by feeling bad. You don't have to pay a price with your energy and your life force and your soul. The opposite is true. You stop paying a price and you start really nurturing and taking care of yourself on a level that you probably don't even know is possible yet. But you'd be surprised. Like, I thought I loved myself when I started this work, and it's been extraordinary to me to go on this journey and to discover so many aspects of myself that I had forgotten about a long time ago. And it's a beautiful thing. I think all the time, like, even if this wasn't about twin flames and, it wasn't about, being with my ultimate lover and having that experience, the healing alone is priceless. You get into this work. Jeff and Shleia talk about this all the time. A lot of us students talk about this, that people get into this work and they think they want to be with their twin flame so much, and this is why they're here. But you really fall in love with the healing because you just want to love yourself more, and you start realizing how powerful this work is, and you're like, yeah, I want more of that. So you get kind of hooked on loving yourself around here. So yeah, if you're feeling depleted, this isn't the right thing for that. And so if you're feeling that, you're not quite doing what this is yet. But this is a good opportunity. Maybe it's time to check it out. Maybe it's time to try something different than what you've been doing and see if you can get some different results. So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it kind of explains what could be causing that experience, and really give yourself an opportunity to reflect and see, like, what feels depleting exactly, because there is a way to go about the twin flame journey that feels a lot better. So if you would like any help and support on the twin flame journey, all the resources are down beneath this video. I am a certified Ascension coach. I would be happy to meet with you one-on-one and help you on your journey. Just hold your hand through it and help you navigate all of the things that come up on the twin flame journey, help you really fall in love with yourself and enjoy your journey in a way that you never have before. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.